Hey everybody, welcome back into Lettermen Row. I'm Austin Ward, joined by former Ohio State national champion wide receiver Evan Spencer. We've talked about this young freshman Garrett Wilson before on BuckIQ, Evan, but
coming out party, baby.
My goodness, if you go have 100 yards and a touchdown in the game, I think you've arrived.
Oh yeah, and it's the one, man. I mean, everybody talks about this game being the one for so many different reasons, but for a young guy to come out and play the best that they've played to date, really cement themselves as being one of the more athletic guys in the room, and hey, I can go out here and make a play for you when you call my number. It's awesome to really see, and we'll get into the plays here in a second, but just to be able to feed off of that young guy's momentum is incredible.
We were talking about him all the way back. I mean, obviously in his recruitment, but then in the spring game, because there was so much hype he's a five-star guy. What can he do right away? Where do you see him being different from game 1 now through game 12?
Man, difference is just maturity and really like kind of applying himself, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody, once you get to, Ohio State, you were the best at your whatever once you were in high school. And then you get here and it's like, okay, how can I acclimate myself to the environment and then start to actually produce for my brothers? And I feel like he's been able to do that, and we've seen that progression realistically throughout the season. And for it all to come to fruition against Michigan is so perfect. And, I'm so excited for the rest of his career now. And trust me, we've only seen a scratch, right? Yeah. And, there's so much beneath the surface here to see in his career. But just what we've seen from the development, acclimating himself to Ohio State and, what we have to offer and the tradition and some of the other players that have been here and done great things and then went on to do even greater things. It's, the sky's the limit, and I'm excited. Yeah,
potential for Garrett Wilson to play 3 more times here in this true freshman year. One for sure will be Saturday night against Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship game. We've got Evan to break down what is making the difference for Garrett Wilson right now after that big win over Michigan in the game. Let's roll the tape. All right, Evan, not the first time that we've talked about this young freshman and making his move, but until you do it in the game, it doesn't really matter, right? You do it against Michigan, then it really counts.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. But I mean, what a game to come out. And in this play specifically, I was talking as we were running through it a little bit, but in a hot situation when the defense is going to blitz you for a young receiver and a quarterback that's obviously first time in the system, but still executing at a high level, to recognize the blitz and be right and get the ball to the right person at the right time quickly, obviously with somebody in his face, is so huge, because this is 3rd and long, right? Second and 18. But at the end of the day, right, if we don't get this play right here, this possession might be out for, so to see that play from a young guy, it was awesome, and this was another one that we all stood up for. But it's just really, really cool to see an offense working this efficient.
And Fields gets that throw off, and it also looked a little bit like last year with those meshes and crosses and everything. Michigan just doesn't seem to have an answer for the speed. And Garrett Wilson, as a freshman, he's going to be around for 2 more years. You're going to have to find somebody to cover these guys.
I mean, this one is, in result different than some of the crossers that we were running last year. Just because, had he had more time, yes, he's wide open, and, I'm sure a quarterback would have read the entire field. But this is just a great hot play. More than anything, knowing that they're sending more than we can block, and we're getting the ball to the right person right now. And it's first down, good guys is super sweet to see. And young guy developing, man.
Oh yeah,
this is one of many.
And that's one of those short one underneath routes. But if you want to see Garrett Wilson attack the deep ball, well, we got some of that too coming. And this one here, I mean. We've talked about it. The conditions, I didn't think it was quite as windy. Maybe it was as it was made out to be. But you could see that these balls were not. This one fluttered a little bit at the end. Garrett Wilson has to make an adjustment. I know that's going to be something that catches your eye here.
Totally. I mean, I think the wind was a little overblown. You're right. But at the end of the day, this is just tracking the football. And you can see that he is doing that as this ball's flying, as we get good sight on it, right? He's keeping the space that he has. Is this a push-up? I mean, with receivers and DBs, there's so much hand fighting that happens naturally when 31's going to come, right? If he doesn't have some form of protection to keep his space, does he knock him off bounds and the flag doesn't happen? I don't know. But at the end of the day, he's saying, this is my ball and I'm getting it and making a play for my team, right? So, that's a mentality. And sometimes the refs look at that and say, hey, 31 had momentum and was coming in with hands and could have caused contact in a different kind of way. So sometimes they let these things go and big plays happen because of it. But at the end of the day, it's a young guy saying, you know what, and in a big time game when my team needs to play, this ball is mine, and I'm making that play for my guys.
Yeah, a huge one right there for Ohio State. Gave them the momentum early on. And this is the one that really kind of put it away, and one that'll go down in the all-time legacy of the game.
I mean, when we were watching this, when you watch every Michigan game with some of the best Ohio State players of all time, really, everybody's got an unbelievable play after something that got us to an emotional high or low or something else. And for Justin Fields, this was it. And, hats off to him for that play and the courage and toughness that he had to come back and make it. But, on the receiver standpoint, it's Garrett Wilson staying alive, right? Like, I'm sure this was a deviation from whatever his route was because he sees quarterback on the move. Now I gotta make a play. I gotta find space in this in the end zone and give my quarterback an option, really, right? So he sees his quarterback run. He bends in towards that back pylon a little bit, and the quarterback makes an unbelievable play and finds a little bit of space. And Garrett Wilson does great at having some feet awareness and getting it down towards the end of the end zone, and touchdown, good guys. Let's just start pouring it on them.
Evan, for something that's such an ad lib, because as soon as Ohio State came in after the game, they admitted that this was. I mean, it's obvious, right? But this is not the route. No. You can see him coming in, Garrett Wilson, in here. How difficult are these? Because you don't know exactly, right, where Garrett Wilson's going to go. You don't know what.
Difficult, yeah, but there's what we call scramble drills. But to put to practice, a lot of people watch games on Sundays or whatever, but like Russell Wilson, right? When you watch him play, the reason why Tyler Lockett is so good and so productive in the NFL is because almost none of the routes that he catches are the traditional what was on the card when it was drawn up. Right? It's because he's playing with his quarterback. He's seeing eyes. Quarterback's pointing, and he's going over here. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what we're seeing with Justin Fields, right? I mean, here it's I'm on the move, make a play for me. They got some form of connection, him and Garrett Wilson. And then he just sees a sliver, and Garrett makes a play. And, it's we as the spectators get to ooh and ah over it. But these are two athletes doing their thing, and it's just awesome to say that, like, there's development here, and this is going to be one of the plays that goes down in Ohio State history. And it was after a almost freaky injury, and he's a freshman, and he's still got all these years to go, and 14 is scared because of it, right? But like. It's just a great day to be a Buckeye, man.
All right, for years to come, that will be the catch that everyone will remember, and they probably are going to forget what we have to talk about right now.
It's okay.
For this week, this will be the one that gets
I had to give a little praise before we got to this one. But
when they go and break it down for the Big Ten championship game, this will be the one they talk about with Garrett Wilson.
I mean, this is one time where some of the leaders and some of the older guys, like KJ right there in the background, right, will just get around the younger guy and say, hey, man, it's okay. These things, they hurt right now, but in the long term will be a good thing. I mean, he's doing a lot. He's got to zip on a jersey and zip on a new jersey, right? And then he's got to run out here and backpedal and try to catch a football. And it could have been slightly windy. And, oh, my gosh, 43 is a little bit closer than I was expecting, right? Those things are okay because it's going to teach him to calm these moments down in his mind and play slower, because we've seen that he's got great hands. That last play that we just watched, great awareness, great knowing where his body is and being able to still turn and make a play on the football, right? So that's not in question. It's just a matter of slowing these moments down and then just being able to still go out there and play at your highest capacity. So yes, these are a negative in the moment, but it's a net positive in my opinion. And especially with leaders like that guy right there, KJ Hill, watching and getting good eyes on about how best to teach him what to do next going forward. Because he's got all the talent in the world. These moments are just the learning lessons that you need to have.
It's just crazy to me that it's been since 2014 and your teammate, Jalen Marshall, during that Indiana game on the way to the national championship, that a punt returner's taken it back for Ohio State. And there's been a lot of, Jalen fumbled too.
Yeah.
I guess you have to go through it, but it's just, those are such costly lessons. And it's kind of crazy to me with all the talent on this team that it's been that long. But I think, Ryan Day called it on Sunday an investment in his future. So you have to let him go through it, I guess.
I think Coach Day said it best. That's totally what it is. And, if you look at the output of the rest of the game and what he was still able to go do and, from an output perspective, I'm totally okay with this. Yes, they scored from it and, they got some momentum, but we still took advantage of what we needed to at the end of the day.
All right, Garrett Wilson really coming on for Ohio State. Big touchdown in the game. That's where it really matters. That'll be the one that we'll be talking about for years to come. He's going to be out there on Saturday night against Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. Maybe Evan will be right back to talk about some more touchdowns for this
I'm
young
sure I
kid
will
as
be.
we come along on Lettermen Row. For Evan, I am Austin Ward. This has been BuckIQ.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got BuckIQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.